Tomb Raider will forever be my favorite gaming franchise, and its main star, Lara Croft, is the definition of amazing. 90s Lara anyways.
Jonah! Making everything worse.
So with the recent releases of Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 Remastered, I thought it would be fun to take a look at the first set of remasters and rank every level from worst to best. I want to start by focusing on the first game because I intend on making this a series of videos if this one is successful. Please note that this is just my opinion and it might be much different from yours. I have no idea how to make commentary videos, so please comment any criticisms you may have in the comments section below. Now with all that in mind, let's get started. I would never use the word hate to define any of these levels, because I don't think there's a single bad level in Tomb Raider 1. But I do think it has its boring ones, and unfortunately Natla's Mines falls right into that category for me. Natla's Mines basically has the player running around, pulling switches and getting lost just to find 4 fuses that Lara must use in order to access her stolen weapons. Then you have to fight 3 villains throughout the level who drop the rest of your stolen weapons upon being killed. It's a quiet, dull, and boring level that doesn't really resonate with me when I think of the first Tomb Raider game. I'm a strong believer that the best iteration of Lara losing her weapons was in the level High Security Compound from Tomb Raider 3, but more on that some other time. The Great Pyramid is a perfect example of a level that's too short to be true. I just made that up. The level is basically just Lara's escape to daylight after she shoots the Scion to prevent a cataclysmic event. After doing so, Lara must face off various traps and defeat Jacqueline Natla at the very end, which, you don't actually defeat.
Jacqueline Natla, you just don't know when to die.
Seriously, how could she have survived this? Anyways, the level is fun. You get to fight one of the best boss monstrosities in Tomb Raider history and earn a trophy for doing this. However, the level is just so short that I can't place it higher up on this list because it ends just as quickly as it starts. Now, I would have placed Atlantis at the bottom had I been grading it based on the combat experience I had with it, because my god, the Atlantean creatures shoving Lara off ledges, shooting at her, trapping her against walls gets very annoying. However, I've chosen to be more generous to this level more than I probably should have been, because of the sheer fact that it has some of the coolest level design in a Tomb Raider game. Lara must slowly ascend from bottom to top of this massive structure. As a player, it's so cool to see the bottom get further and further away as you ascend to the top. What isn't cool is the process of getting there. Also, let's not forget the most interesting part of Atlantis, Bacon Lara, or alternatively, Lara's doppelganger. This is a very strange Atlantean creature that copies every movement of Lara Croft, and it will only harm you if you shoot it. So don't shoot it. Was Bacon Lara supposed to be an early iteration of Lara's doppelganger from Tomb Raider Underworld? I'll leave that mystery for Axemania to solve because I have no idea.
You can die too!
The Tomb of Tihocan is the final Greece level of Tomb Raider 1, and it's a fun level overall. But my main problem with it is the same issue I have with the Great Pyramid. It's just too short. The level feels like it was made to serve as a small addition to the Cistern because the developers ran out of space or something. Sure, there are some cool moments here and there, like introducing the Centaur and the epic showdown that happens at the end of the level between Lara and Pierre.
A little late for the prize giving.
I don't really have much more to say about this level other than it's short and linear, so let's just move on. Hey, we're here everyone! I know the Cistern is your favorite level because who wouldn't want to drown, get lost, be shot at, eaten alive, spiked, or develop OCD over these stupid magnum bullets? Yeah, so basically you must find a total of 5 keys throughout the Cistern, 2 rusty keys, 2 silver keys, and 1 golden key. After finding the first rusty key, the player can choose to unlock the right door or the left door. I recommend choosing the left door because, After choosing the left door, Lara will eventually obtain the first silver key. You'll eventually want to make your way into this room and pull a switch to raise the water level so you can access the second rusty key. Now that the water's been raised, you can safely unlock the right door using the second rusted key and safely obtain the golden key without falling on the spikes. Make your way through this underwater tunnel and pull this lever to gain access to the second silver key. Now that you have all 5 keys, you can use them to unlock the doors and reach the end of the level. I don't know what's worse, this level's complex and confusing design or the fact that I have to literally plan out my every move. Honestly, Suzanne the Raider said it best here.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember where I am, where I'm going, and what I'm doing, because if there's one level I don't want to miss something and have to backtrack in, it's this level.
Now aside from this level's ridiculous design, the Cistern does have some redeeming qualities to it. Firstly, I really dig the location despite how frustrating it may be to maneuver around in. The idea of an ancient cistern underground is actually a really awesome concept that I'm really happy the developers came up with. The cistern wasn't particularly beautiful back on the PlayStation 1, but the remaster did absolute wonders to the look, tone, and feel of the level. I can't quite describe the feeling I get when I enter the cistern. It's almost a cozy one that makes me not want to leave just as much as the level makes me rage. Sanctuary of the Scion has always been a level that I like to take my time to complete so I can just admire its beauty. The level is set within an enclosed cavern system with various chambers and underground passages to explore. Despite the level being set inside, it's surprisingly able to make me feel like it's taking place outside. I think the reason for this has to do with how massive the environment is. It's so isolated, yet it manages to feel open at the same time. The majority of this level is gorgeous. From the giant sphinx to the statues of Seth and Horus underwater, they are beautiful sightings. However, as much as I love this level for its beauty and architecture, I still have my nitpicks with it. First of all, this level has extremely complex geometry that Lara must climb and traverse around for a good chunk of the level. The problem here isn't necessarily the climbing or the traversal, it's the climbing with the addition of the flying Atlantean creatures. This gets very frustrating because of how dumb their enemy programming is. I start shooting at them and they either fly away or get stuck in the wall. Now this might sound useful because you can just shoot them while they're stuck, right? Nope, Lara won't even lock onto them. If I stop shooting them, they unstuck themselves, fly over, and throw Lara off a ledge. I don't know about you, but I personally don't have the room to be fighting these giant winged Atlantean creatures on these tiny freaking platforms. I don't know if you relate, but I'm just gonna move on. Caves was not only the beginning of Lara Croft's journey to tracking down the Scion, but it was also the start of the Tomb Raider franchise. Because of this, Caves most likely holds a special place in the hearts of Tomb Raider fans. Caves is the shortest and easiest level in the first game, but that doesn't stop it from opening with the most badass Tomb Raider cutscene that, in my opinion, the franchise has yet to top today. While the level is iconic and memorable, it doesn't really do anything special. It's quite literally a jog from start to finish with a few secrets to go out of your way for. But to be fair, Caves was never meant to be anything crazy anyways. It does its job as the perfect and brief introduction, and because of this, I think it's appropriate to place Caves at number 9 for its memorability to kickstarting this amazing series of games. I like to call this Colosseum the Lara Croft Animal Massacre. These poor innocent animals, they did nothing to you. Damn it, Lara. Now aside from Lara's insane animal murdering spree, the Colosseum is gorgeous, especially in the remaster. I think the removal of the draw distance significantly helped to open up the visual aspects of this level. The given ability to stand on one side of the Colosseum and see the other side really grabs my attention. I also love the addition of the skybox here, as opposed to the black void present in the original. The Colosseum is pretty easy to complete. All you have to do is pull switches that lead to rooms with more switches, kill, kill, and kill, do some parkour, and shoot the crap out of the extremely annoying Pierre Dupont, who for the love of God, won't let me enjoy the Colosseum in peace, but rather in pieces. Eventually, you'll reach the key that will allow you to leave the level. The Colosseum gives you the feeling of isolation when Pierre isn't attacking you, excessive switch pulling, and, murder. Obelisk of Kahmoon is one of the most visually appealing and vibrant levels of Tomb Raider 1. Blue is one of my favorite colors, so it's pretty easy to see why I love this level. Obelisk of Kahmoon plays out like an interesting and challenging mechanism that the player must solve. Lara must traverse through various sections of the level in order to reach switches that lower these 4 bridges when pulled. Just avoid falling into this annoying room because there's absolutely nothing in there. After all of the 4 bridges have been lowered, Lara can obtain the 4 emblems. Now what I love about this level is that it doesn't tell you that you'll actually be backtracking to the previous levels to use the artifacts. I don't know why, but I've always found it so cool to see what you've already explored a second time. Maybe it's because I'm just weird. The city of Vilcabamba is a level that you can only really enjoy if you know what you're doing. The level is just about as easy to complete as it is to get lost in. It's basically a maze with bears, bats, wolves, and extra areas that you weren't even required to visit. I remember spending so much time in this area confused because when I first played this level, my first instinct was to jump into this pool. After pulling a few switches and eventually ending up back where I started, I was extremely confused. And after what felt like an eternity of running around, I finally discovered this switch. I was equally as frustrated with myself as I was satisfied that I finally had figured out what to do. I think the second time I played through Tomb Raider 1, I appreciated the city of Vilcabamba a lot more. And now that I played through Tomb Raider 1 so many times I can't even count, I really appreciate the unique atmosphere and layout. I just didn't appreciate it at the time. What is wrong with me? For being the first actual tomb Lara raids in Tomb Raider 1, the Tomb of Qualopec is a pretty good and well thought out level that perfectly wraps up the Peru section of the game. Lara's goal here is to find a way past this gate that blocks her from stealing a piece of the Scion. Each room contains a switch that will raise one of these 3 gates blocking access to an alternative route. I really like how this level gives you options on how you as the player want to pursue this level. When Lara steals the first piece of the Scion, the whole tomb starts to collapse. Once you successfully escape, or die, the fight with Larson is always a fun way to end the level.
Thank you.
City of Kahmoon has always been my personal favorite Egypt level in Tomb Raider 1. This might come as a shock to some because I know a lot of people prefer Obelisk of Kahmoon. But hear me out, my love for this level mostly stems from nostalgia. Tomb Raider 2 was my first Tomb Raider game, and after I beat it, my curiosity sparked not for the 3rd game, but for the first game. I was born in 2008, so YouTube was very much a thing when I was 7 years old. So I began spoiling the first game for myself, wanting to know more about it. One of the things that intrigued me most about the first game were the Egypt levels. I'll never forget the feeling I got when I arrived at City of Kahmoon. It was a mixture of holy crap, I made it, and wow, I'm finally in Egypt. Walking into the room with the Sphinx statue was an exhilarating experience. This level has always been a special memory for me, and I don't think any of the other Egypt levels were able to replicate what I felt when I entered the City of Kahmoon. There's never a time I'm not in the mood for a playthrough of St. Francis's Folly. Lara must traverse up and down this vertical tower structure and pull switches to open 4 doors: Thor, Damocles, Neptune, and Atlas. Each room contains their own key in which Lara must obtain to end the level. This is all easier said than done though, because there are deadly traps that await Lara behind every door. The Damocles room seems completely harmless until Lara collects the key and swords start falling from the ceiling. The Thor room isn't safe from the get-go because lightning begins to fly around the room as soon as you enter it. Just because Lara's Loki here doesn't mean she's safe from death. Or is she? Oh my god. Atlas is a fairly simple room as long as you avoid this stupid boulder trying to pancake Lara. Neptune should be a breeze as long as drowning is your best friend. In all seriousness though, this room isn't difficult. Just swim to the bottom, pull the switch, grab the key, and get out. Now that Lara's obtained all 4 keys, she can make her way back down the tower. I bet you're probably wondering by now why I'd put such a crazy level so high up on this list. And there's an answer. I love how each of the rooms throughout this level feel like a trial to test the player's ability. I've always preferred traps in Tomb Raider games over the combat encounters. My stance on this is mostly focused towards areas such as tombs and other ancient locations that should be completely abandoned. Surprisingly, Tomb Raider 2's major combat sections don't bug me as much as they do in Tomb Raider 1. This is due to the fact that most of the areas in Tomb Raider 2 aren't tombs. I'm not against the combat in classic Tomb Raider games, I think it's fun for a minute, but after a while it starts to feel repetitive and overused. That's why I prefer it to just be Lara versus harsh environments, platforming, puzzling, and minimal combat encounters if possible. And that's pretty much the experience I receive when I play through St. Francis's Folly. The Lost Valley is nothing short of iconic. Lara must locate 3 missing gears scattered throughout the valley and use them to stop the waterfall blocking the entrance to the tomb of Qualopec. I think what makes this level so memorable is the fact that it pulls the unexpected. I bet no first time players were expecting to fight raptors or a frickin' T-Rex in a game set around an archaeologist. I sure as hell wasn't. My only criticism with this level isn't even really a criticism. I just wish it was longer because this level is so short, but so good. I mean, I guess we kinda got an extended version in Tomb Raider Anniversary, but just not as good. Palace Midas is my absolute favorite level in Tomb Raider 1. It's a very special level that's just pure gold from start to finish. No pun intended. Palace Midas blends together everything I love about classic Tomb Raider, and while the level is somewhat combat heavy, I'll let it slide here for 2 reasons. 1, the combat encounters are spread sparsely throughout the level, so I don't find myself to get annoyed by them. 2, Palace Midas has a lot of open space for these battles, so you aren't crammed while fighting. The concept of this level is similar to St. Francis's Folly. Lara must pull 5 switches in a specific sequence that matches the symbols on the doors. There are 4 rooms in total, and 3 of which contain lead bars that Lara must convert into gold by using the stone hand of Midas. The first room is a timed fire trap that Lara must go leaps and bounds to survive. The second room has Lara blowing it up before taking her on a massive detour that eventually leads to the second lead bar. The third room trials Lara with some simple platforming above a spiky floor. Once Lara has obtained the final lead bar, she can make her way back to the hand of Midas, turn the bars into gold, and use the now golden bars to leave the palace. I think what makes Palace Midas my favorite level is the enormous scale of it. It's kinda shocking to me that the PlayStation 1 had the ability to handle a level as big as Palace Midas. This is a truly brilliant level that captures the spirit of Tomb Raider very well. Well, there you have it everyone. That's my ranking of all 15 levels from Tomb Raider 1. And no, I didn't forget about Lara's home. I just don't think it belongs on the actual list because it's a tutorial. But it's sure as hell iconic, so 8 out of 10.
Right, now I'd better take off these wet clothes.
Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. As I said in the beginning of this video, I'm intending on making this a series, so stick around. Oh, and please comment. I really like engaging with you as community, and it makes the experience more fun for me. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.